My name's Justin Robar, and I'm conducting an interview today with probably the streamer that I watch the most, VaughnWhiskey. Vaughn, how are you?
I'm doing good, thank you.
So we're going to be doing this both as, a voice interview, and this is going to help with content with Vaughn's website. Vaughn, do you want to plug your website and social media and everything like that before we get started? We'll get it out of the way right away.
Yeah, like I said, and as Justin said too, is I'm a Twitch streamer, so twitch.tv/VaughnWhiskey. I also do YouTube. If you search anything VaughnWhiskey, you'll find it. Don't go searching the images though, because they'll probably frighten you. But the website's also VaughnWhiskey.tv, and it's being updated right now, so that's why we're doing this, and to build up some information and use it for the website. So thank you, Justin, for doing this.
Not a problem at all. And again, with as with every website, hashtag under construction. All right. Yeah. So we'll get right into the interview here, and we're going to start with just, again, a very, very, very basic sort of beginning. Anybody that knows you, Vaughn, or has watched your stream for more than, I would say, 5 consecutive seconds can probably see the passion that you have for gaming. I would think it would be easy to say most streamers and most gamers have a passion for gaming. What are some of your earliest memories with gaming in general? Some of your earliest.
I grew up in like a single mom environment, so my babysitter was always like a console of some sort. I remember Commodore 64, I remember NES, I remember all those, and the one game that sticks out the most for me as a kid is Shadowgate for NES. And I used to get so mad at that game, but the day I beat it, I felt like I conquered the world. But the horrible part is the song, the little 8-bit song in it still haunts me to this day. Sometimes I will hear it in videos and stuff, and I'm just like, oh god, that game. But games have been a really big part of my life. I played everything growing up. We used to do computer lab stuff at the high school when we were little and play StarCraft, which I completely suck at. Hand-eye coordination's not my key. But as you said, for like the passion, it's just, I play games to get out of reality. Sometimes reality can be a letdown and stuff like that, and it can be rough. Video games to me are like my way out to veg and all that stuff. So that's always been my key to relaxing, I guess you would say. Even though I get pretty pissed off most times.
I was going to say, I don't think anyone that watches you stream would define you as relaxed.
Yeah, I'm relaxed in my mind, but yeah. I'm a little edgy on stream.
You got to keep things exciting, right? And you touched on it there a little bit, and I know you've discussed it at length in the past on stream and everything like that. But we'll just to kind of lay it out here just a little bit more. Couple of quick questions.
I'm loaded, ready to answer questions.
Exactly. I didn't give you the questions beforehand. You explicitly said that was no fun.
Exactly.
But I'm just thinking you're like here furiously going through notes to make sure. But no. So yeah. So how did you first discover streaming? What about streaming specifically appealed to you? Like one or two things, and who were some of the first streamers that you started watching?
Okay, so I had a relationship for 3 years that ended really abruptly. I was like kicked out of my apartment and everything like that. After I got a hold of I got my own apartment and everything like that. I had like a pretty shitty computer. Hopefully you don't mind me swearing.
Oh God, not at all.
Okay. I had a pretty shitty computer and everything like that. So I stumbled on at the time JTV or Justin.tv, which is the predecessor to or the predecessor. I don't know what word I'm trying to say right now.
I think you nailed it the first time.
Yeah. Nice. Of Twitch, and I would obviously use it to watch. Okay, hopefully I'm not breaking rules here, but people used to stream TV shows and movies and stuff on it, and events and everything like that.
Like I've said before, wrestling pay-per-views.
Yeah, exactly, and like South Park and all that wonderful stuff. Then I was like, okay, I'm gonna check out some of these gaming channels to see what they're all about. The first one I watched was a gentleman by the name of Kona. He did Kona's Corner. I used to lurk in his channel a lot, and then we ended up playing Call of Duty. At that time, I think it was Black Ops, maybe, when it first came out. And then I stumbled upon Cream, or 2Rs, Creeam, and Yuli streams. They're friends of mine now. They're really getting popular on Twitch. I lurked in their channels for a while. I became friends with Kenny, or Cream, ironically enough, by doing really shitty photoshopping of him with a horrible controller accessory. To this day, I still say he owes me a video game, but he'll tell you differently. But I met all of them, and then I met their group of friends, and it kind of just expanded. And then it started to build, like, I'm playing games with these guys, and I'm being me, myself, but nobody's really catching it. People would ask, like, oh, does Vaughn stream, and all this stuff, and I didn't have a streaming rig. So I started trying to test stream. And I remember, I still have the videos on my YouTube. I was test streaming World of Tanks when it was in beta. So that just kind of gives a timeline right there of when everything was. And my quality was 240p. I had like 1UP for internet. You need a decent upload and stuff for streaming. It looked like somebody from the garbage can was streaming. It was so bad quality and so pixelated.
Funny enough, I just came across another streamer that I watched just yesterday who's been having computer issues, and he's like, all right, testing this stuff out. And I went into the stream, and the stream was 480, and it looked like it was being recorded through a loaf of bread.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible.
I might have had, like, maybe Conway, which is our friend Tim, maybe Conway and a robot for like 3 years. and that was it for my views. So then after that, my computer actually died. It was an HP micro tower, so it was not even meant to be even used for basic day-to use. It was so crappy. So I literally took a baseball bat to the HP, by the way, just for the record.
Nice.
And Tim thought that was funny. But then I got
a real Office Space moment.
Oh yeah, it was like off my desk and in 1,000 pieces. So I took like whatever leftover money I had laying around, and I saved up and went up to Best Buy, not Best Buy, Staples. Oh God, this is when Staples first opened up. And got an Acer Aspire something or else, and like it was a return, so it was super cheap. But come to find out, the person that returned it put more RAM in it than it was supposed to have in it. So I had instead of 4 gigs, I had like 12, and it was like an upgraded CPU and stuff. And I was like, this is perfect. Somebody totally fucked up, and I'm just gonna leave here with like a $200 computer that I might be able to stream with. So
what you're saying is you fell ass backwards into a career as a semi-professional streamer.
Yeah, it's pretty much what happened. I literally started streaming because I was bored, and it started like the best way to look at it, I was using like low end video capture cards. I was only Xbox 360. Like playing Battlefield 3. Like I wasn't the best stream out there. I was like bottom of the barrel streamer. But you have to start somewhere. Your original story, your original like start off has to be something interesting. So that's why I was like, okay, I'm fine with this.
Definitely. All right, so let's cut away from the NPR questions for just a few seconds, and we're going to do a little rapid fire for you.
Okay.
So we're just going to go through some quick ones, just some real quick answers, just to make sure the folks are still awake.
Okay.
Favorite game ever?
Fallout New Vegas.
Favorite game so far of 2017?
I hate to say it, but Zero Dawn Horizon? Is that what it's called?
Horizon Zero Dawn?
Yeah, Horizon Zero Dawn. My God, ass backwards.
You had all the words in there. It's all good.
Yeah, it was good.
Favorite genre of game to play or to stream?
Horror. Straight up, horror.
You didn't, no hesitation there at all.
I love spooky games.
Nice. So as of right now, which is July 2017, most anticipated future release?
I hate to say it because I was so disappointed with the first one, but Evil Within 2.
Most annoying person or company in gaming?
Oh God! Is this overall or current?
You know what? It can be either. I'll let you. I'll
do one for both.
All right, right on.
All right. Overall, Bethesda kind of, yeah. I hate to say it right now. Fallout 4 wasn't as good as it should have been. They had a lot of stuff they could have done with it, so I'm gonna just say for now Bethesda. As for current, the people who make Crossout, screw those guys. They deleted my accounts. Trying to merge my accounts, they deleted both my accounts for Crossout. And
oh, geez. Oh, I didn't. I must have missed that.
oh yeah, I had a whole rant on Twitter about it. Oh, but yeah, that's that.
Damn it. Which is so funny because your two answers for that surround like the game that you're playing the most right now and the game that you've arguably played the most on stream, at least in the last year or so, which is Fallout 4.
Yeah, 973 hours.
Really? Holy crap. I thought 120 in Skyrim was a lot. All right. So a couple of non-gaming ones. Subject you wish would have been taught in school.
I feel that I took audio and technology at Parkview. It was literally shit. It was nothing to do with audio or technology. It was us sitting around making movies in iMovie, and that was it. I wish they would have had a more in-depth class on that stuff. It was a free credit, so that was good.
It's always nice. Kind of like taking drama in 12th grade.
Yeah.
It's just a free credit.
It's a free credit.
Who would play you in the movie of your life?
Oh, God. Seth Rogen.
Seth Rogen?
Yeah, Seth Rogen.
That's a good answer. That's a really good answer. Dinner with a famous person, living or dead. You choose.
Oh, this one's going to hurt the most. George Romero. Because,
man.
Yeah, it's going to hurt hard.
I don't want to make this too much about me, but I went to a movie last night, and in the dialogue in the movie, they mentioned George Romero, and I just my heart just sank.
Yeah.
Because he literally just died.
It's brutal.
Like, oh no, this is horrible timing. The worst thing you've ever purchased for yourself?
Oh my God. God, that's a good one. The worst item I purchased for myself.
I had thought about making this the worst thing that's ever been purchased for you, but I figured that would be a whole other interview.
Oh yeah. It would have been. Yo, back when I was younger, there was these things called Crazy Bones. And I still regret that we were obsessed with Crazy Bones growing up. That or Pogs. Goddamn Pogs.
You know what? Pogs were funny enough, I still have some of my blasters around here somewhere, I think. Yeah. But what were Crazy Bones? I don't remember those.
Crazy Bones were these little tiny action figures that were... They had different themes and stuff. Okay, so they're like little tiny like monsters and stuff. And they tried to build a game around them where you would roll a dice at them, and whatever one you knocked down, you kept. If anybody's wondering, just Google Crazy Bones. They used to come in coffins. And
I got my eyes on it now. Yeah, I remember.
And there's like aliens and monsters, and it was kind of like just something. We used to get them from the quarter machines, like 2 a quarter. Right. Yeah,
that's true.
It was I probably invested so much money into them that I probably put the CEO through college. Like I was mowing lawns just for Crazy Bones. It was like an addiction. I was like heroin or something. It was rough.
And last one before we get back into the NPR questions: weapon of choice in the zombie apocalypse.
Baseball bat. I'm a strong believer in baseball bats don't have to be reloaded.
This is true. They also don't make much noise.
They don't make noise, and if you're smart enough, you can be pretty quick with them.
See, that's smart. That's somebody that has thought about this question for more than 5 seconds.
A lot of toilet thinking.
Right, exactly. That is one of those toilet thinking questions. That's a good way to put it.
Everybody always says guns, and I'm always like, what happens when you run out of ammo? They don't think about that.
Way too much tension.
Yeah, and then they're like, well, something like an axe, and I'm like, well, then what if you get it lodged into the skull of the zombie, and then you're struggling to get the axe out? I've thought about this way too much.
There are contingencies for every possible answer that is not bad. All right, so let's go back into it here. We both hail from, as you put it in your description, the mysterious land of Canada. You and I both kind of grew up small town. Do you think this influences you as a streamer or as a gamer in any way? The fact that of where we grew up?
I get a lot of comments saying like, "Oh, you guys have the internet there," and stuff like that. So it's kind of interesting when I talk to companies and stuff, and they're thinking I'm gonna say like Toronto or Saskatoon or any of those places. But
I like
I'm
how
like,
your second choice for Canadian city was Saskatoon.
just it throw a wrench in the works. So that's gonna confuse
Absolutely.
people. But like when I'm like, no, I'm in Nova Scotia, and they gotta like bring up a map and shit, and they're like, wow, people live there, and it's just like, yeah, and we're just I try and make it seem like we're just hitting the 1990s here, like
Right.
we're so behind, and they're like, yeah, we just got basic cable and a phone,
Wow, have you guys heard Michael Jackson's Thriller? That's a great
yeah.
album.
But I think it influences me more in the way that I don't get discouraged as much when I don't have like millions of views and stuff like that. I'm gonna stream regardless, one viewer to 1,000 to 1,000,000, whatever. I think it's funny when I tell stories because they don't think stuff that I've gone through can happen in small towns, especially in Nova Scotia. It's funny because I get called a northerner from the U.S. friends of mine, or Canada is another nickname, and it's so far away from what they think I'm a part of. Like when I tell people that, like friends of mine that live in Long Island and stuff, like I could throw a rock to you guys. Or something like that. Like they don't understand that Nova Scotians can be like right across to where they are in the U.S. and stuff. So I'm kind of beating around the bush. I'm just gonna say from where I live, it's a good conversation piece, and it influences me way better to stream to show that there is actually people here with brains, and we're actually moving around and not just puppets.
It's true. And next week we even get color televisions.
Mm-hmm.
At what point after you started streaming? So obviously, like you start your streaming, and I think you touched on it a little bit. But at what point after that did you start to believe that you could like kind of really make a go out of it and turn streaming into a business, or just kind of anything more than just sort of doing it recreationally and for fun?
Okay, this might get a little sappy, but I went through a really rough period of depression. I kind of it was after a friend's death that I was just like, I'm gonna shut the world out and everything like that, and just pushed a lot of people away. And then I didn't stream for a little bit, and then I was like, I'm just gonna play Battlefield 3 today and just play games. It kind of mellowed me out. Like I wasn't stressing, I wasn't biting my nails or being all like edgy, like about to lose it on everybody. I was having a good time, and people were coming in, and this is when my sniper phase in Battlefield, where I was landing really good long distance shots. And I remember people were like, "Oh man, you're really good at this and stuff," and they were like amazed that I was playing on Xbox 360. They're like, "We got to get you on PC and stuff like that." A couple months down the road, my computer started having troubles, and chat. I remember the people, Melina and Black Warrior Yeti. These are people from my channel. I was trying to raise money to build my very first professional PC, or my custom PC, and I thought it was gonna take me months. I had a 6-month plan and everything like this of what I was gonna do, and in a night they raised all the money to build my PC, and
Wow.
I like pretty much after everything was done bawled my eyes out, half on stream, half off stream, because it felt like I had a community. I felt like that was the beginning of what my community is now, and it just keeps growing and growing and growing, and that's when I was like, okay, no more just console games. I'm gonna be able to do real games on PC and be able to communicate better. And then as the years kept on passing, I kept on getting better items like microphones, headsets. I started reaching out to companies to work with me with unboxing videos and reviews, because that was kind of the thing I was aiming for with YouTube. But now with the Twitch streaming, I was able to do things live, and it saved time with like making content on YouTube and everything. And then I got playing with obviously Kenny and Cream and Yuli and all those guys on stream, so they helped build up hype behind my channel and everything like that. And that's pretty much when I was like, okay, I can't do this like whenever I'm bored. I have to start doing this like daily and start building up a fan base and a viewer base to get the ultimate prize of Twitch partnership, which still technically I don't have, but we're getting close. We're getting close.
We're getting close. We're getting absolutely close. And I think you just passed 8,000 followers, I think, yes, on the Twitch account. Fantastic. So name a couple of games. If this is a person that, a person watching this or listening to this or reading this or whatever, who has never watched your channel before, name a few games that you can probably be most associated with as a streamer. So either games you played on stream for a long time, games you feel you were really good at, or games that viewers sort of recognize you for playing.
Fallout. When Fallout 4 came out, I told them, I warned them. I said, this is going to be a Fallout 4 stream for a long time. It was something new to me, as like I grew up playing Fallout 1 and 2 and Tactics, and unfortunately Brotherhood of Steel for PlayStation 2. It was a horrible game. But I was always a big Fallout fan, and I say now that Bethesda kind of screwed it up because of how many hours I put into it. I feel that I still put so many hours into Fallout 4 that I could say that it's probably the one that I'm most attached to, I guess, with my stream. Before I could have said Battlefield 3, because that's what I started out with. But like right now, if somebody was to come into my channel, first of all, they'd probably be, pardon me, they'd probably be completely confused of what's going on. It's complete anarchy in the channel. But anyways, I'm trying to play free-to-play games so more people can play with me right now, and then like obviously new releases and demos and alphas and betas. But if somebody was like, oh yeah, that Vaughn guy, he streams a lot of Fallout, that's probably would be the catchphrase most used.
Fair enough. And I want to give you credit for something too, because I think it's not necessarily something that you started, but it's something that a shockingly small number of streamers seem to be like, in the grand scheme of things, seem to have jumped on board with. And that's like on a Sunday when you do viewer night, like with the Jackbox games and stuff like that. Now, there are a number of streamers that do that, but compared to overall usage of Twitch, it's a very small number of streamers that will actually be like, hey, let's play games with the people that are in my chat, and not just through like a chat bot or anything like that, but literally like, here's the Jackbox thing, first 7 people get in, we're gonna play this game together, I might not win, it's got that kind of thing. And It's still a shockingly small number of streamers that actually do that, but you kind of jumped on board with that pretty well every week.
The thing is with that is I picked that up from people doing Sub Sunday. So people who are partnered would do on Sundays, would do games with their subs, but as a non-partnered streamer, I was like, well, I can't really do Sub Sunday if I don't have subs. So this is before VaughnWhiskey and the affiliate program. So I would just do viewer night, and people would just play, and I'd find games that there's a lot of games out there that integrate Twitch chat.
Mm-hmm.
There's like Choice Chamber, the Jackbox games and everything like that. Some games work better than others. Like we had the incident with the Drawful trolls. That was kind of a great night. Got a great profile picture out of that.
That's true.
And I see a lot of streamers now, they don't do much anymore. They just do it usually with a group of their regular friends every night and stuff like that. I like viewer night. I like being able to, rant at viewers on my stream when they're kicking my ass in a trivia question and stuff like that. And I want to keep that going. And then like also with movie night that we had, we have to restart back up, where I just invite people to come watch movies on another site. I don't see much people keeping that. Lower streamers, yes, because I've always thought about this off stream, is that people who have low numbers cherish their numbers regardless. So like if they only have 30 people watching them, they're happy 30 people are watching them, and they're going to give those 30 people attention. Now if I if I got like 1,000,000 views or something like that, or 10,000 viewers, it would be hard to organize something, because that's when you start limiting yourself, because games don't have space for 10,000 people or 1,000 people. So it would obviously be difficult. But I think if you're a streamer starting out small, incorporate your chat, even if it's 2 people. Just get chat involved, and people swing by and they'll jump in and play, and then they might stay and follow, and then you got followers. So there you go.
Definitely.
It's the games are pretty cheap most times, and it's a kind of a free way to gain a couple followers here and there.
So I got one more for you, and then we're going to do a quick round of either or. You got 2 options, got to pick one.
Okay.
But we'll get one more question in before we do that. What do you feel is your greatest accomplishment to date as a streamer, and what has been your greatest challenge with streaming?
Oh God, the greatest one I think is getting to work with companies that probably wouldn't work with someone with my low numbers and attitude. I've worked with companies like Roxio, and I worked with Plantronics, and I got on to like partner program situations that were only for Twitch partners, and I was never a partner, because I literally just would go out and talk to them and explain what I want to try and do, and stuff. So like a good example was when Design by Humans was doing gaming shirts for streamers. They were only doing partnered streamers, and I was the first one that wasn't partnered on their guest team. Kenny or Cream and them guys were always like wondering how do you get all this stuff on? And I'm like, I literally just talk to the people. I don't bullshit them. I don't do anything. I just literally tell them who I am, what I'm trying to do, and how can they help me obtain where I want to go with their product, or anything like that. So like all my affiliates and partners are ones that I've handpicked myself that I would work with, and they're not just by the number. They were ones that I picked out, and I go, I like what this company is doing. I want to be involved. Like Savage Jerky, Texas Beard Co., Nerd Tees, and all that.
I was going to say Nerd Tees is a great example, because it's Ruby, isn't it?
It's Ruby in chat. Yeah,
exactly.
And they're in New Brunswick, so it's I saw her through Dan's Gaming. She sent Dan a package of tea to try, and I'm like, I'm gonna hit her up. I like tea, and she seems like a nice lady. And now she's like has a tea stream team with people on it and stuff like that and everything. And that's what I want the affiliate or the partner to get something back from me, not just advertisement space. And that's what I see. Like a lot of companies are more than impressed when I come back with that. The other question I blanked out. I apologize.
Oh no! What's been your greatest challenge with streaming?
Okay. Working with Sub2R. The Sub2R guys have been fantastic. They're I'll just give a little quick jib about them. They're a camera company that was producing a 4K camera. At the time, I think it was 122 frames per minute. It was to rival, in my opinion, the Red cameras for something simple like streaming. But they were looking at it more as scientific, like meteorologists and observers of space or whatever and stuff like that, and undersea people like who want to go in submarines and they have a camera with them that they can record stuff. And I reached out to the CEO, Rich, and I said, how can we work with this for streamers? Because I said the streamers were limited to what pretty much 1 or 2 companies right now, which is Logitech and Microsoft. And I said we need something to kind of throw a fork in the road. It needs to increase the quality of these cameras, because our streams are starting to get up there to like 1080p. Some people are trying to do 4K, which is insane. I don't know why they want to do that. They sent me out a prototype after talking to me for a couple months, and it's a hefty little thing. You gotta understand, it's a $5,000 prototype, so I'm scared to touch it. But it has like interchangeable lenses. It has its own dedicated RAM inside. And it's all fabricated by them and built by them. And now they're trying to go out there and understand streaming a little bit more, which is difficult for me because I'm trying to explain to them how streaming works. And I'm trying to get them in touch with bigger streamers because I don't want them to get information from one guy that has 8,000 followers. They need to talk to people that have like 10,000 viewers at a time to get them on board to build up hype for it. So it's been really hard because the big streamers don't want to hear from a smaller streamer. No offense to any big streamers out there, but when I try and contact people like Lyric, Lyric's a bad example, he doesn't use a camera, but like Summit, or like Dr. Disrespect and all those guys, I sent them an email saying like, hey, there's companies building the camera, you should check them out and maybe you guys can work together, and they just ignore everything. And it sucks because I build up hype for the camera guys because they love the streaming side of it. And then when I'm like, oh, they didn't get back to you guys, fuck me in the ass. Like, but that's the most difficult thing is I'm trying to not even sell. Like, I'm just trying to say, look, there's cameras out there that are better. I've used them. They are good. They need work. They need input. They need people to help. And then the other people are like, oh, I don't know who you are. Get out of here.
And it's difficult too, I'm sure, to get in a big streamer's ear who may have a sponsorship deal with Logitech or Microsoft.
That's true.
And to say, hey, there's this new camera, and they're like, oh, I'm just going to ignore this completely because I don't want to rock the boat with one of my sponsors.
I think it's kind of funny though because I have a story. When I got the prototype at the time, Logitech was hinting at a 4K camera, and I was like, all right. I sent him a message. I go, all right. I have a prototype camera. I would like to challenge your new camera when it gets released to this prototype and see what they're like. And they're like, oh, that's pretty cool and everything like that. Then they released a camera model that was complete crap. I think I might have pushed them to push their camera model out early. And I was like, uh-oh, but then it sucked and I was like, okay, we're in the good. Like, but I like, no offense, Logitech, don't hate me.
VaughnWhiskey, ruining corporate America since 19...
It's brutal.
All right, so let's do this either or. Let's get pretty well everyone that's listening to you to hopefully try to hate you because you go on the opposite side that they go on.
Oh, beautiful.
What I'm going for is 100% hatred with this section.
Oh, great.
All right, see, I mean, look, if you got to be 100% in something, you might as well. So, either or, console or PC, that's going to be an easy one.
Yeah, it's going to be PC.
As a console developer, Sony or Microsoft?
Sony.
Right. As a processor developer, Intel or AMD?
God. This is going to put me in the coffin.
See, hatred.
As of right now, AMD.
Now, is that in terms of like their higher end processors or
they're
just
ones
overall?
The ones that are coming out? Overall, yeah. Intel has been
right.
Good. Yeah.
Well, but I mean, Intel's had how many years of a head start? So
yeah.
It's, it makes sense. It's like comparing Marvel and DC, which we'll do in a second.
Okay.
OBS or XSplit?
OBS. I'm sorry. I have a partnership with Player.me, which is one of their their owner owns XSplit. Right. And I've tried so many times to switch over to XSplit because I felt like that's a good thing to do. But it's just I can't do it. I can't bring the horse to drink the water. It's just you get so used to where everything is when you're streaming, and when you try something new, it's completely confusing to change, and I don't like change.
Well, it's true. Like it was the same deal with me with the software that I used to do my videos. It's like, oh, this software is better. This software is better. Yeah, but I know where everything is in Power Director. I'm not going to learn this new thing. iPhone or Android?
Android.
All right. So now we'll get into some of the non tech related stuff. In terms of the cinematic universe films, Marvel or DC?
Marvel.
And again, it's like with Intel and AMD, they had such a head start.
Yeah.
In terms of the comics, Marvel or DC?
Marvel. I'm sorry. I feel Marvel with the movies, because they did the R-rated stuff, that's like a whole new chapter for comic book movies. And with the comic books, they've been doing that stuff for ages. But I find that the Marvel characters have so much more personality. Well, I forgot about Batman on DC, but but I mean, like, I find like Deadpool, Wolverine, all those guys, like, they have personalities that you get attached to, while like Bruce Wayne, Batman, still one of my favorite superheroes, has been since I was a kid. Every Bruce Wayne that comes out with a new comic is the same Bruce Wayne. Like, I've never seen a change in his attitude. Maybe the Flashpoint comics, because it's ass backwards and he died. Oh, I can't do spoilers.
Dun dun. I'll just put like the censor beep on it.
Yeah.
Where, like, if I wasn't going to allow swearing, we'll just censor that. Sausage or bacon?
Sausage. Whoa, that's really, like, that's a weird question to ask. But
Star Trek or Star Wars?
Star Wars.
And the last one, which I think might be, I don't know, it might be difficult for you, might not, because I know how much you really love one, but I think you love the other two. Coffee or tea?
Oh God. You're gonna make me lose a sponsor. I'm gonna say recently iced coffee or cold brew has been keeping me alive this summer, but in the wintertime, tea for sure.
Right on. So that was a very political way to answer that question. That was excellent. That was very good. And Ruby, if you're listening, for asking that question, I'll make an order from Nerd Teas, I promise. All right. So just a couple more questions, and then we'll close it out. You touched on it a little bit earlier, but we'll ask it specifically. Where would you like to see your stream and your community in, let's say, 2 to 3 years' time? And is streaming something that you want to pursue as a true career?
In a couple years, I would like to see myself develop more as a streamer. I feel that I'm 30, right? And people think like, well, that's pretty old to kind of start taking streaming seriously. But like, I still don't feel like I've developed my stream to the full potential yet. With the affiliate program that Twitch rolled out, where we get sub buttons now, it's helped me kind of focus and shape what I want to do, because I now have access to certain features that only partners got to use before. So in like a couple years, I want to do more with like subs. I want to start something in the province for like Halifax or Nova Scotia meetups for Twitch, because there are some other streamers. There's actually very popular streamers from Halifax, and that would be something nice too, to start something. Another streamer, Seriously Carla, she does Twitch Vancouver meetings, and they're really, really popular. And I would like to do something like she does for Nova Scotia.
Oh, is streaming something you want to pursue as a true career?
Oh, for sure. I think I've put enough years behind to kind of try and now say I earned the full-time streamer. But it comes down to like health and stuff like that too. Being diabetic and then having to go to the doctor more often than a regular person, it does cut into my streaming because I'm exhausted all the time and stuff. But as of right now, I wake up, I get something to eat, I plan the stream out in my head, and I stream, and then I go on, do some, like, get some supper, do some stuff around the apartment, and then stream in the evening, and I feel that is a good setup right now. But I do count it as like a career now. Like I'm looking at, like, obviously, like with taxes and everything like that, when you make a certain amount of money and everything, you got to start incorporating taxes and everything. So as of right now, I can say clearly, yes, I do look at it as a career now. Even though there's been several times when I say I stream, they think I'm doing porno. One being my internet service provider, they thought when I told them I stream online and people watch me, they instantly thought I did porn. So I'm not doing porn. I'm streaming video games, and nobody would probably want to watch that.
VaughnWhiskey's Jerk Cam.
Oh, God. It's just, God. But, I look at it now as 100% full-time streamer as a career now.
Perfect. And you know what? We'll get you out of here on this just to wash the taste of the concept of the VaughnWhiskey jerk cam out of everybody's mouth. Now you mentioned it a little bit earlier, like a piece of advice you would give to like a smaller streamer starting out would be like, look, no matter what your chat size is, audience size is, get them involved, because that's obviously, interaction is kind of what it's all about. Any other advice that you would give to somebody that wants to start streaming, tips to help build an audience, maybe even like advice as a self-marketer, because obviously you've had to become very good at self-marketing, and you've had to bring in people like Mallory who are good at marketing you as a brand. So any advice that you would give to new streamers?
There's a couple things that I've learned if I could have changed. One thing is numbers. I find it's going to be kind of ironic because I said, work with your viewers, try and do something with them. But I focused on my viewers way too much when I started streaming, like taking it seriously, and it would bum me right out. I'd be like, oh, I had 3 viewers today. I only had 4 viewers today. I think if a new streamer is just about the content, just keep talking. Even if you're talking to yourself, just keep streaming and the numbers will grow. Don't focus on the numbers. Another thing is, don't under or oversell yourself. I find a lot of streamers new streamers will undersell themselves to companies just for a little bit of product, or they try and reach out at like 13 followers and try and get on with like Logitech, and then they get mad and then they'll burn that bridge. Like, I've burned many bridges. I'm a bridge burner. It's what I do.
Right.
I when I was starting off streaming, I wish I was a little bit more of who I am now when I started out streaming, because there was companies that I would have loved to work with now that I practically shunned them to no belief because they wouldn't give 5 minutes to even just listen to me. It's because it comes down to them as in, is this person worth my time? Is he worth the amount of money we could make? That it's a business. And that will scare people, but as long as they keep streaming and building and talking and communicating, and there's tons of websites out there that allow you to market yourself at the start. Twitter, you gotta have a Twitter, you gotta have a YouTube, you gotta have Instagram is becoming a big one. There's other ones like player.me and plays.tv that not many people use, but it's a content type sites that if you get more content out, you get your name in the search engines, and then it starts to roll. Because there was times where I was putting out so much Battlefield 3 stuff on my blog, which was on Tumblr at the time, and on YouTube and stuff, that when you search Battlefield 3, I showed up at like number 10 on the YouTube, or on the list on Google.
Oh, wow.
Because Battlefield was retweeting my stuff, they were reblogging my stuff on Tumblr, and like giving me shout outs and everything like that. It's just because I was pumping out so much material, and it was in my opinion decent material. So it's one of those things where there's some things that I wish I could go back and tell myself not to do, but as of me talking right now, it's literally focus on yourself growing. Don't focus on your channel growing until later on down the road. You got to build who you are behind the camera, and you got to understand, am I going for a character, or if I'm just going as myself on camera? Because I find a lot of the times people who create a character or persona online, say a Dr. Disrespect or any of those types of people, that has to suck, not be able to live out of that persona on stream. Like, I could never do that. When I stream, I'm Vaughn, and when they stream, they're whoever and stuff like that. But it must hurt that they can't be like themselves for one day because they have a persona they built around themselves. So it's one of those things where it'd probably take a year, in my opinion, for a streamer to develop who they are and then to understand what they want to go and actually do. Yeah, it took me 3 years to figure out mine, so don't be me. Just do it in a year.
Yeah, absolutely. And like, funny enough, like as a YouTuber too, I can kind of, although that's kind of turning into a dirty word now with like Team 10 and shit. But like as a YouTuber, I can totally vouch for the whole like don't get caught up in your numbers, because that was me too. That was when I did the first year of my show. It was like, okay, these are the numbers. These are my baseline. Great. Second year, my numbers went down a little bit, and I was like, oh God, why am I even doing this kind of thing? Don't get caught up in that, because the longer you keep at it, like you say, you got to hustle. Like hustle is the biggest part of it. You got to keep going. You got to not worry about that. Worry about you. Worry about A, what you get out of it, and B, the quality of the content that you're putting out. And like you said, the numbers will come.
Yeah.
All right. Well, you know what? I'll get you out of here on this one. This is your last chance to double back and choose a weapon other than a bat in the zombie apocalypse. Is there any other weapon you could potentially pick?
All right. So okay, let's break this down right quick. If we're in a zombie apocalypse and there's an abundance of ammo, you have to consider where we live and stuff like that. Sniper rifle is always a good time, and I always say that because I go back to the Dawn of the Dead remake where they're sitting on the roof playing the game where they're picking out zombies that look like celebrities and then trying to find them and shoot them. I think it was Dawn of the Dead. Was that the remake in the mall?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was.
Yeah, I just thought that's funny, but nothing's gonna beat a blunt weapon. Like,
no.
The only thing that's gonna stop it is yourself. Like, that's the only thing. Yeah, bats to me, they're gonna be around more than I think a shotgun. Or man, even a shovel at this time would probably be better than a rifle, in my opinion.
Yeah, you're probably not wrong.
Yeah.
All right, folks. Well, we can't knock him off his. I'll knock him off his high horse with the bat, so I guess we're going to have to...
Melee weapons just seem better, because it's exercise, it's building up stamina, and you're killing zombies, so it's...
This is true. You're hitting a trifecta in the zombie apocalypse right there. Vaughn, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to do the interview. It was a lot of fun. We're going to get this put together, and we'll be getting some content on that new site. As we said, #under construction. Once again, twitch.tv/VaughnWhiskey. Just type in VaughnWhiskey into Google and you'll find 1,000,001 things, but you won't find a porn site.
Yet.
It hasn't gotten that desperate yet,
no,
but you never know. It's always in the back pocket.
All right, thank you,
Vaughn,
Justin.
Thank you so much for taking the time.
You have a good one, man.